Hello everyone all over the world. My name is Dr. Andrew Iloh. I work for the Biodiversity Education and Resource Center in Abuja, Nigeria. I am honored to share Nigerians' experience in taking up the IPBES thematic assessment on pollinators, pollination, and food production, and translating its science into national action with the support of the BaseNet and the BaseNet Solution Fund. The IPBES pollinator assessment highlights the critical role that pollinators play in food production, food security, and ecosystem health, noting that pollinators underpin a substantial portion of global crop production and biodiversity. It synthesizes global evidence on the status and trends of pollinator species, the threats they face from land use changes, pesticide use, and climate pressures, as well as the implication of the declines of pollinator services on communities and economies. Since 2019, Nigeria has actively worked to translate this global science into policy, practice, and community engagement. Our journey began with the participation in the Anglo-Africa Regional Trialogue, facilitated by BaseNet, where scientists, policymakers, and practitioners reviewed the IPBES assessment findings and identified priority actions relevant to Nigeria's biodiversity and food systems. One of the earliest outcomes of this process was Nigeria's commitment to the Global Coalition of the Willing on Pollinators, an international alliance driven by the IPBES assessment that brings countries together to protect pollinators and their habitats. Nigeria became one of the first African nations to join this coalition, signaling political commitment to pollinator conservation and sustainable land management. With the catalytic support from the BASE Solution Fund, we've moved from commitments to actions. This support enabled the development of the Nigerian National Pollinator Strategy and the Integrated Pest Management Strategy, both grounded in the evidence and recommendation of the IPBES assessment. These strategies have equally undergone validation and are designed to guide long-term action, integrate pollinator concerns into national planning, and promote sustainable agricultural practices. Under the BASE Solution Fund initiative, Nigeria has also advanced innovative tools and knowledge platform. This includes the establishment of DNA barcoding and QR coding systems to catalog pollinator species, laying the foundation for a national pollinator database that will improve data availability and support science-based decision-making. Nigeria has equally developed a floral calendar that maps 50 key Nigerian plants alongside their pollinators. It has translated high-level policy into practical guidelines for farmers, communities, and land managers, supporting biodiversity integration into agriculture, promoting pollinator-friendly greening side by side with reforestation, empowering communities with knowledge to protect and restore ecosystems, at the same time respecting plant knowledge. Importantly, these efforts extend beyond policy and data. Through multi-stakeholder workshop and community engagement, we are building a shared understanding and ownership of pollinator conservation across all sectors, from farmers and beekeepers to government agencies and research institutions, even elementary, secondary, and undergraduate students. Training on sustainable beekeeping, citizen science monitoring, and pollinator-friendly management practices help ensure that local communities are central to implementation on ground. What this experience shows is that scientific assessment, like the IPBES Pollinator Report, can catalyze meaningful national actions when supported by dialogue platforms such as BaseNet, inclusive governance process, targeted funding mechanisms like the BaseNet Solution Fund. Nigeria's efforts demonstrate how global science can be translated into local relevant strategies that supports biodiversity conservation, resilient food system, and community well-being. As we continue to implement and refine these strategies, we look forward to sharing lessons learned and strengthening collaborative actions across countries and regions. And thank you very much for listening.